Is 2024 the year that the United States will see its very first female president? The 2024 U.S. election has presented three very strong women as candidates for president. Jill Stein, representing the Green Party, Marianne Williamson, representing the Democratic Party, and Nikki Haley, representing the Republican ticket. Today we have two of our very own female political pundits joining us to weigh in on each female candidate so that you can make an informed decision. First, we have Laura Wellington, a political commentary writer for the Western Journal, an award-winning entrepreneur, author, and TEDx speaker. Preity Upala is a former investment banker turned thought leader and media entrepreneur based in Hollywood, California. Welcome to the Feisty Ladies. Let's begin with your thoughts on why the 2024 election is particularly important for our country and for women.
Well, thank you so much for having me. 2024 is going to go down as one of the most crucial years, I think, in the history of our planet. 40% of the world is voting. With the largest election in history, 1 billion people will be voting in the Indian election, which brings us to the one in the US. I think this is consequential because what happens in America, the result of this American election will affect the world at large. Both the US allies as well as adversaries will be watching very closely because the result actually affects them and their relationship with the US. So I think it's a very, very crucial election for everybody concerned. We are in the midst of two of the worst wars we've seen in a long time, and in an extremely divided place, I think we find ourselves. And I think we are all looking for the right kind of leadership to take us into the future. So I think it's extremely crucial what is going to unfold in November. And I hope that American people will vote with their conscience.
Laura, your thoughts?
I think the 2024 election is critical at this point. I agree with Preity that the world is watching, but I also think that our country has enormous distrust for our government, given the last election, and many conservatives do not believe that that election was a fair election. Many still do believe, given they haven't seen any real hard evidence themselves, that the election was stolen. And so we're looking at candidates right now that are really duking it out and setting precedent now for how our elections will unfold in the future. So many believe that this election this will either be the last election or that their votes don't count. And I think we're at a real crossroads right now with this country, whether or not we're going to come together, whether or not we're going to reestablish trust in our government, and ultimately what direction the United States will play in the rest of the world.
One of these women could be our next president. What are your thoughts on the candidates?
Well, Tierica, I disagree with you. None of these women will be president. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. We don't have the right candidates as far as women go. I think that I give them all credit for running. I think more women do need to run, but I don't think any of them are going to make it. I think Jill Stein and Marianne Williamson, look, big applause for them even trying. There's no way they're going to make it. There's no way. It's like a joke. As far as Nikki Haley, she's not going to make it either. She's, as far as many conservatives consider her a puppet of the establishment, and they don't want that. They've had enough of that. They have that right now, and that where they're in the position they are right now, where they can't feed their families, they can't pay their gas bills. They're having an extremely hard time making ends meet, only to see money going out of our country to other countries to fight other people's wars that aren't their own. They're tired of it. They don't want the same thing. She represents that to them. Many people say that she's actually a ploy for the left. So I do not think that any of the candidates are viable.
All right, so here are my opinions on these three candidates. It's not easy for anyone to go through an election campaign. So, kudos to them. And we do need more women running for and also in participating in casting their vote as well. So Jill Stein, this is not her first rodeo. She's done this before. She was involved in 2 other elections, and with I think very limited success. I don't see her being the nominee, let alone the next president. I think that her passion really lies in environmental concerns and humanitarian concerns. But unfortunately, I think politics is not the right platform for her. Then we come to the next candidate, Marianne Williamson. Now, she is a spiritual leader, an author, and a speaker, very popular. I think she genuinely cares about the future of the country and the future of the world at large. I think she could do so much more for humanity. Again, if she just focused being on the spiritual leader that she is. Then we come to the final candidate, Miss Nikki Haley. So I do have to say that it would be very ironic if the first female president and the first president of color, female president of color of the United States happens to come from the Republican Party, because I think this is what the Democrats have been, their whole brand, this is what their brand is about. So it would be ironic if it ends up coming from the conservative side. When she first burst onto the scene, and she was appointed the ambassador to the UN, I actually really was very excited. I thought here is, exactly what we needed. I think she did a good job there. So her political positions prior, her foreign policy positions prior, I liked them a lot. Unfortunately, I think moving forward for who we need to see take America, I think there are more better alternatives, especially specifically on geopolitics and foreign policy. And I don't know how coachable and how flexible she is with those views. But I think there are other candidates that are showing a much different geopolitical strategies, which I think will be more effective in the long run. If Trump drops out and if Ron DeSantis miraculously drops out, I think she will be the favorite, certainly to be the nominee. And if everybody backs her, she may even have a chance, but that's a big if. So we'll have to wait and watch.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for your opinions and your insights. One quick question. If you could choose any woman that's not running to jump into this race this year, who would you like to see go ahead and take the reins? Just quickly off the top of your head, Laura, what do you think?
You. I don't have any one woman in my head right now that I could say, and it's not a woman thing. It's more of a, who do I think could actually, because you're talking about quite a situation right now. Like, you talk about going up, when you think about the enemies that we have, can someone among them, among the women, fill those shoes right now? I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I don't know. Not one person is jumping into my head.
That is Tulsi Gabbard. I think this would have been the right time for her. Instead of last election, she should have fought this election. I just think she brings a lot to the table. There are rumors that she may be on RFK Jr.'s ticket. I'm not even saying that ticket would win, but I just think it would be a very interesting ticket that would make people think. It will most definitely take votes away from both the left and the right. And I think we need an election where everybody is involved and all bets are on the table. So I'd like to see Tulsi Gabbard get into the race in some way or shape or form.
Thank you, Laura and Preity, for your thoughts. And thank you for watching the Feisty News for Women. Remember, be feisty. Women must be seen and heard.